Tack så mycket och jag vill hälsa er varmt välkomna hit till den här presskonferensen här i Skellefteå stadshus. Vi höll en presskonferens här den 12 mars och det var en presskonferens som var väldigt kämpig. Och det handlade ju då om Northvolts konkurs. Det var efter en lång och en tuff period som hade pågått sedan hösten 2024. Och det berörde också väldigt många människor, gamla som nya Skellefteåbor. Men idag, vid dagens presskonferens, så ser vi resultatet av många månaders slit och vi ser också varför det är så viktigt att inte ge upp. Och vi har också varit väldigt många som har haft ett tydligt gemensamt mål. Att Europas första, största fungerande batterifabrik inte bara kan upphöra. Den kan liksom inte hamna i en papperskorg. Och batterifabriken är också helt enkelt avgörande, viktig både för Skellefteå men också för Sverige och för Europa. Och nu har vi äntligen en ny ägare på plats och vi vill också säga varmt välkomna Lyten till Skellefteå. Och just nu så skrivs det också ett nytt kapitel i Europas batterihistoria. Både ur ett geoekonomiskt perspektiv men också ur ett geopolitiskt perspektiv. Att batterifabriken lever vidare med ny ägare är också helt avgörande. Det är avgörande för svensk innovation och teknikutveckling framåt. Men det är också avgörande för svensk tillväxt och framtidens jobb. Och inte minst handlar det om industrins gröna omställning. Som oavsett vad man tycker om den eller har för åsikt om den så sker den på riktigt runt om i hela världen. Och nu sker den också fortsättningsvis i Skellefteå. Jag vill också säga att ett avgörande för att ha orkat med det här. Det har varit det enormt varmt stora stödet vi har haft från alla Skellefteåbor. Men också så många fler som precis som vi inte gav upp. Och det har varit det viktigaste. Och mitt i allt det här så kommer nu många också förhoppningsvis att återfå jobb i Europas enda största batterifabrik som ligger i Skellefteå. Så idag är det faktiskt till skillnad från den 12 mars, en glad dag. Vi är hoppfulla och det här är ett välkommet besked som väldigt många har väntat på väldigt länge. Och ett stort tack till alla som trodde på oss och som har kämpat med oss och nu lyfter vi blicken framåt för det finns mycket arbete att ta vid. Med det så lämnar jag ordet till Kristina Sundin Jonsson.
Thank you, Lawrence. Well, like you said, Lawrence, it has been a very turbulent year. Many people and many companies have been affected by this bankruptcy, and as a municipality we have tried our very best to mitigate the consequences for the people and the companies that has been affected. As always, we have done this work together with other authorities, the business sector, the civil sector, and I think that the country and Skellefteå has proven that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. A huge thanks to all Sweden for all the support in this. We are so thankful. Through all this process, actually, we have never lost hope. We have always thought that it should be a solution for this battery factory, because we are quite confident in what we have in Skellefteå. We have the green energy, we have the skilled people. We are ready to make quick decisions in any time. We have had people moved here from all over the world and really trying to build a future here. They wanted to stay here. So we have never doubted, even if we know that this has been a very, very complex process in every hand. So we have always been quite confident and we have always had this hope. We also knew that we had a world-class battery factory we thought that this would be of interest for others. As I said, I know this has been an extremely complex bankruptcy and a process to handle. Thanks to trustee Michael Kubu with colleagues and the people of Northvolt for an excellent job and a good dialogue throughout all this process. And I also want to thank Business Sweden for tremendous work and constructive and creative meetings throughout this summer and all over the process. And of course, I also want to thank my colleagues and employees in the municipal group, always ready to work 24/7 and if needed, and always trying to find solutions in tough times. Most of all, I will welcome Lyten and CEO Dan Cook to Skellefteå. We are looking forward to whatever may happen after this. We also want to continue the collaboration with Västerås and other parts in Sweden that are looking for huge investments of this kind. I think together we build Team Sweden, and together we can really define the strengths of all parts in Sweden. So we are now ready for the second chapter, and Skellefteå will continue to be a key player in the green transition and also going to be a part to build resilience for Sweden. Thank you. And now, Michael Kube.
Yes, thank you. Well, it has now been nearly 5 months since Northvolt was declared bankrupt. With the debts approaching 80 billion Swedish crowns or $8 billion and close to 5,000 employees, it is by far the largest bankruptcy in modern Swedish history. In fact, it ranks among the largest bankruptcies in Europe and perhaps the largest single industrial bankruptcy in Europe in modern times. It is rare to have involved geopolitics in a bankruptcy in Sweden, but that's the case with Northvolt. The challenge have been huge and complex. At the battery factory company in Skellefteå, for example, we didn't have a single penny on the account at the date of the bankruptcy, but we had huge cost running it. After a tentative and difficult start, production continued, thanks to incredible, motivated workforce led by Mattias Arled and his colleagues, and the tremendous support from Scania. We managed to continue the production. And the production even exceeded previous performance during the spring and early summer of this year. Managing staff through the stress and uncertainty of the bankruptcy has also been challenging. People were laid off, placed on leave, and became dependent on the receiving the state wage guarantee. And the system simply isn't designed for bankruptcy of this scale, but however, with a very good cooperation between the trustee organization, the HR department at Northvolt and the tax authority, I think we managed to handle the state wage guarantee quite well. In Sweden, we are actually lucky to have this state wage guarantee because that's not always the case in other countries. And this has eased the hardship for many people and made a path forward possible. Initially, we were hopeful about finding a buyer to continue the operation. The ongoing production for the only customer during the bankruptcy, Scania, bought us time to negotiate with potential investors and buying of the business. But once the production stopped, we were left with no revenue, only cost, which is a difficult situation. And the potential buyers, which we were negotiating with during the spring, decided not to proceed. We then began planning for a complete shutdown of Northvolt. The headquarters in Stockholm was closed. Yes, it still exists, but people are working from home. The research and development facility in Västerås was scaled down to a very minimum, and plans were made to wind down operations entirely after the summer, including selling the Skellefteå factory in parts. Still, some never gave up hope of restarting operation under the new ownership. And that hope came from Northvolt's employees. Mattias Arlet led the people, and the municipality of Skellefteå and Västerås. In June, new potential buyers emerged. A tremendous amount of work has gone into saving Northvolt from a full closure and enabling the sale of the operation. And that work has been done from, I say, late June until now. And we have finally signed an agreement to sell almost all assets owned by Northvolt to the California-based Lyten. And that includes that's the factory in Skellefteå, labs, the research and development facility in Västerås, headquarters including all IP, and of course assets outside of Sweden, for example, the shares in Dry, where the ongoing production of a gigafactory in Heide. As with all major transactions, certain conditions remain. And that's, for example, regulatory approval, not only in Sweden, but in other countries as well. And then we have lenders' approval. But however, the number of conditions are limited, and we anticipate to close at least all assets in Sweden earliest mid-October, hopefully in the end of October at least. The assets overseas will take some more time to close. It should be noted that Lyten, during the bankruptcy, also acquired the Polish factory, and prior to the bankruptcy, the site in Coburg in US. What remains to be sold? Well, it's the recycling plant Revolt, and because it stands on the land owned by Northvolt Expansion with another trustee. However, I have got the information that the buyer will also acquire Expansion. So then we assume that Revolt will come in the sales process in phase 2. This sale would not have been possible without extraordinary efforts during the middle of the summer from a great many people. First and foremost, the staff of Northvolt, my colleagues at the Ackordscentralen, all our offices from Malmö to Umeå has been involved, and very many of my colleagues have been involved. We have lenders, legal representative at Cederqvist and Milbank's law firm. The buyers, law firm Lindahl, have put in enormous amount of work to make this happen. And of course, Scania and their legal representative at Hammarskjöld. Skellefteå and Västerås municipality, Business Sweden, we have had a really good cooperation with Business Sweden during the whole bankruptcy. The Swedish government, the unions, the list can go on. Last but not least, I would like to thank Dan Cook and his team at Lyten. The negotiations have been tough, complex, and it has been a lot of work from both sides. I'm pleased that we have ultimately found a buyer willing to continue operation and restart battery production. The risk of full shutdown, as mentioned throughout the bankruptcy process, was very real, which would have resulted in a massive destruction of value. Now Lyten have the opportunity to carry forward Northvolt's vision of European energy independence, clean battery production, job growth in Sweden, Europe, and North America. Finally, I would like to note that even though it's a significant achievement that we have now been able to sell the business, it will not represent a success for the creditors. The majority of the assets are pledged, subject to security transfers. Naturally, it will be some difference between the different entities of the estate, but it is and will be very many creditors which will lose very much money in this bankruptcy. Thank you, and then I will leave over the word to Dan Cook.
Thank you, Miguel, and also good morning to all. We truly respect the work that you, Miguel, and your team have done taking Northvolt through this difficult and in many ways unprecedented bankruptcy process. There are clearly so many more to thank, as it's a long list of people and organizations that have been constantly collaborating and compromising to make this transaction happen. I would like to extend my thanks to a few of the critical supporters on this journey. First, to the creditors and lenders for their exceptional collaboration in this process. Thank you to former customers whose partnership with Northvolt kept the facility running. Thank you to the Swedish government, and in that to Ebba Busch, who has been instrumental in her support of Sweden's battery industry and specifically this transaction. And thank you to Business Sweden, who has become a true partner. A thank you to the German and Canadian governments, not here today, for their growing collaborations. A thank you to the local governments in both Skellefteå, and I'm doing better at pronouncing that, and Västerås, where each of these facilities reside, and a special thanks to our host, Christina, and special guest, Amanda, who traveled from Västerås to be with us today. I expect there will be many more events in Skellefteå and Västerås in the days to come. A thank you to the customers and suppliers that have remained patient and flexible and continue to show their support for this operation. And finally, to the employees and the broader community, thank you for your resilience and trust in Lyten. We look forward to working with both you and the unions to create great success in the future. This week was honestly one of the most exciting, and has been, continues to be, one of the most exciting in my professional career. The acquisition of Northvolt's assets here in Sweden and globally is a pivotal moment in Lyten's history. We at Lyten are so excited to welcome the Northvolt facilities, employees, and communities into the Lyten family, and to have the Lyten community become part of your family as well. Today, I want to spend just a few minutes answering three simple questions for you all. Who is Lyten? Why are we here? And where are we going? Lyten is a privately held U.S. company located in the heart of Silicon Valley. For 10 years, we have been developing a new material, the first in Silicon Valley, we think in about 50 years, called 3D graphene. This material is critical to our batteries and many other decarbonizing applications. For the last 5 years, we have been focused specifically on the challenge of delivering locally sourced, locally manufactured, low carbon footprint batteries to the North American and European markets. Why? Because batteries, are emerging as a technology critical to all of our energy independence, our national security, and our economic competitiveness. Battery technology is simply too important to leave entirely to someone else. Today, we are the world's leading producer of lithium-sulfur batteries in a facility in Silicon Valley. Lithium-sulfur is unique in that it holds much more energy than a lithium-ion battery found in your phones and many applications, and can be made from low-cost, abundantly available industrial byproducts, eliminating reliance on foreign supply chains and eliminating the need for more than 85% of the mined minerals found in today's lithium-ion battery. So why are we here? We're here because Northvolt and Northvolt Labs represent some of the most advanced and largest battery development and manufacturing facilities in Europe. Facilities like this simply must survive and should bring economic impact to jobs, to their communities for decades upon decades. We're also here because we are in need of facilities to ramp up our lithium sulfur battery and energy storage manufacturing. This demand is growing exponentially for these products, and it's time to grow manufacturing to meet that demand. We're here because of Northvolt's talented workforce of engineers, operators, and technicians, and the countless suppliers and partners that work tirelessly to build and operate these assets. We simply cannot allow this talent and community to go to waste. We're here because Northvolt is a perfect complementary fit with Lyten. This acquisition both accelerates our business plans by years and creates a clear pathway for the facilities in Skellefteå and Västerås to immediately begin the process of coming back online. We deeply believe in preserving the significant investment that has already been made here in the facilities, in the people, in the partners, and in the community. So where are we going? We know how important these facilities are to the community and employees who depend on these jobs for their families. We know the entirety of Sweden is rooting for Lyten and Northvolt to be successful. Our plan forward is about focus. Our first focus is to bring ET and labs back online. To bring the jobs back, we are working with the former Northvolt team to start hiring right now. To bring Northvolt's products back. To bring Europe's leading battery R&D center back in tight collaboration with Lyten's R&D center in Silicon Valley. To bring customers back. We are talking to them right now, and they want Skellefteå to be successful. And to build a revenue-generating, profitable battery business in Europe. So our next focus is on continuing the expansion projects beyond that for ET and Germany. These are projects that are critical to our business plan, and we are working with the stakeholders to map out the right timing, the right cost schedule, the right funding, the right customers who can anchor demand in each facility. So let me close by saying simply a thank you for welcoming Lyten into your community with open arms. Thank you for your continued optimism and resilience throughout this process. And thank you for the hard work and dedication that made all of this possible. On behalf of Lyten, we are so excited to start working with all of you to show Europe and the rest of the world what Sweden's battery industry can deliver. And with that, I would like to invite comments from Matthias Arlett, former COO of Northvolt, to share his perspectives on this development.
Thanks, Dan. Thanks a lot. Exciting moment. Let's say it's overwhelming after 12 months. I joined Northvolt 12 months ago, and let's say a couple of weeks later, Northvolt filed for Chapter 11. And this time I assumed operational responsibility for Northvolt. It was an honor to work with this team, with this dedicated team. I had a very strong leadership team, very dedicated, very focused. Still a couple of thousand people. But of course, already in Chapter 11, a big uncertainty. What I found in Northvolt was world-class experts, I think the best battery experts of the world, incredible people, groundbreaking technology. All the customers told us the cells from Northvolt are the best cells what they saw in their laboratories. So the customer has been really completely convinced that the technology is the right technology, and a very, very bold vision to build a European-based cell industry for the Western world. But of course, at the same time, we faced very serious operation issues and financial challenges. Thousands of jobs has been at risk at this time during Chapter 11, and billions of investments on the brink of collapse. Say together with the support of, I see a lot of faces here in the room, I don't name everyone. We went through this difficult time. We worked very hard on preserving what really matters, to keep it on board. And then the company decided for filing for Chapter 11, for bankruptcy, and Mikhail Kubu came on board. Mikhail Kubu mentioned it already, Dan mentioned it. We had a very, very strong support from our closest customer here in Sweden during Chapter 11 and also during bankruptcy. And without this support, there would not have been any chance to preserve all what Northvolt built. So really great thanks to the customers that they helped. And also great thanks to Mikhail Kubu, because he came on board as a trustee, and you can imagine it was for me also first time in my professional life to work, let's say, with a trustee in a bankruptcy in Sweden. And I'd say that Mikhail Kubu gave us the trust, the Northvolt employees which left, that we are able to convince a buyer, because it was clear to sell the assets, it will be in parts and pieces if at the end we have to sell the assets. And the only way what I saw and what the team saw, and I'm very happy that Mikhail Kubu joined this thinking, was that we have to sell this business. And to selling the business, it only works if people are there. Because without the people, without this great people, and without all the support from, let's say, everyone here in the room and a lot of more people, let's say the Swedish government supported, let's say Christina, and here Skellefteå municipality was a great support. We had meetings over meetings with potential buyers to show them that Sweden is really willing and Skellefteå is really willing to do everything what is necessary to get this done. Was a great journey to see all the support. And at the end, I'm very, very happy that we found at the end of the journey a solution. And thanks a lot, thanks to Dan, that he gives us a chance, he takes a challenge. A lot of people pulled back. Let's say Dan is brave enough to say, I take this challenge, even if a lot of people are pulling back and not doing it, to give us, let's say, the chance to take the challenge and go into the next chapter. Mikhail Kubu mentioned it. Let's say what we achieved over the last couple of months, what the team achieved in Northvolt with a big, big help of our customer was outstanding. I never expected that this is possible. Let's say we started with thousands of people, and the last couple of weeks, months, we produced with only 800 people, which has been left here in Skellefteå. Better than ever, we produced up to 30,000 cells a week with really good quality, let's say not with much scrap. So it was really a shame to see, oh, now it works. We got there, it was working. and the company had to file for bankruptcy. And therefore, let's say I'm so glad that we are standing here. There was always a missing piece how we can be competitive in the future with technology which is dominated by, let's say, a Chinese supply chain. And there was always a question from the customers, from the politicians, from all the different stakeholders, how can we be competitive? And we have been always searching for a solution, and then, let's say, Lyten came in the picture. And it's amazing to see, let's say, it's a breakthrough technology, which, let's say, will give us a chance, let's say, to be independent from the existing battery supply chains in the future, which will create what we all standing for, which will create, let's say, the possibility to build a very strong leading European-based Western cell industry with this new technology. And let's say the boost what Northvolt can give this technology. The technology is there, it's proven, it's used already. Let's say Northvolt built over the last couple of years outstanding capacities in Västerås to, let's say, accelerate all these developments, to boost it, and outstanding production capacities here in Skellefteå to be able to produce it in the future. Then now we have to bridge to this new technology with the existing technology, with our hopefully existing customers to work with us to bridge in this new century, and then going with the new technology into the future. So they really great to have this opportunity. So, and with this saying, I feel it's not the end of the crisis, it's the beginning of a new chapter. And let's make this a success together.
Thank you. And now we will move on to our participant that is with us on link today. It's Sweden's Minister for Energy, Business and Industry, Ms. Ebba Busch. And the rest of the panel, I invite you to stand here at the tables.
Super. God morgon, höll jag på att säga. A very early good morning to the people looking at this press conference from the US and to the rest of Sweden. God förmiddag. Svåra problem löser vi bäst tillsammans. Och det är Skellefteå-andan verkligen ett levande bevis på. Teamet i Skellefteå och den anda som ni har stått för, den har löst många och svåra problem under många års tid. Och den har inspirerat många av oss även under det här gångna året. Jag växlar över nu till engelska och what I just said is that difficult problems are best solved together. And the spirit of Skellefteå truly is a living proof of this. We have managed to solve very truly difficult problems over a vast period of time, but not least this last year. Last time I was in Skellefteå, I met so many employees of Northvolt in despair. Employees that had moved from all across Sweden, all across the globe, to come and be part of this project that is much larger than, well, just a simple battery factory. It's a symbol of a massive change that is now combining the possibility of both economic growth and cutting emissions in a truly difficult and challenging time. For me personally, it was really moving to see the commitment of all of these employees, even when they had gotten the worst possible and tough news of the bankruptcy. Hearing them being committed to seeing a different turn of this tale, a turn that we are now seeing. So I'm happy to say that tears of grief have now turned into sighs of relief, and it's a sigh that you can almost feel all the way to the government office here in Stockholm. And we are now seeing a turning point where despair is turned into hope. And I would like to give some most heartfelt and sincere thank yous to all of the stakeholders who have contributed to our standing here today with a signed agreement. And I would like to start off first and foremost to the employees of Northvolt who have been committed for many years in this project, who have stayed with Northvolt, the ones that have gotten the opportunity to do so, and the ones that are already signaling willingness to come back once this is up and running. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for your commitment. And thank you for your knowledge, because that is truly the main value of the Northvolt asset. And that is you, the employees, the know-how, and that is really, truly world-class. Then I would also say thank you to Skellefteå, both the municipality, to Lawrence, Christina, to the region. Once again, you are a true inspiration to solving difficult problems, to showing that we can still follow all the high levels of quality and standard that we have as Swedes, but also find a way to bring that up to speed. I would like to give a heartfelt thank you also to the representatives of Västerås, Amanda and team, for the work that you have done locally there as well. And while I think everyone also took notice of the joy and emotions from Matthias Arlett, there has been a hard work from you and your team as well, not least together with the trustee Mikael Kubo. What a relentless work during this spring and summer. Thank you from the Swedish government side to the good collaboration that we have had. I would also like to extend a warm thank you to the team of Business Sweden, who has been instrumental in this work together with the Swedish government as well. And also my own team, who has been working very, very hard on the Northvolt issue for over a year. And not least then, were we very happy to then start teaming up during the spring and summer with Lyten. So to say maybe one of the most important parts, congratulations to Lyten, to this acquisition. Welcome to Sweden. We have had many contacts back and forth over the last few weeks as this moved into a more intense phase. And I must say, you have already made quite an impression, Dan, and your team. Thank you for your way of navigating this. We're off to a very good and promising start with the collaboration between the Swedish government, the whole of Team Sweden, and your Lyten team. And thank you, not least, to you yourself, Dan, for your way of approaching this, seeing what is truly the value of Northvolt, taking part of the vision that has been the core of the Northvolt project, but then adding the competences and the expertise that Lyten can bring as a company to this. I'd like to finish by saying this is an acquisition and a press conference that is taking place in truly challenging and difficult times. We live in a more stressful geopolitical tension than maybe any history of mankind. Those are not words that I say lightly. And many of the Swedes that follow the work from myself and the whole of the government knows that many often talk about the need for value chains in a double sense. Values as in creating value for our citizens and economic value, but also value as in value chains that we build with whom we share the same values. And this is also why I'm happy that this is a win for Skellefteå, for Västerås, for the whole of Sweden. It's a win for Europe, but it's also a win for transatlantic relations, for the relation between Sweden and the US, and for the importance of strong value chains in that double sense in these dark and challenging times. I believe that we need to have more realistic hope in this dark times, and this truly is a good example of this. We have a long way to go still. There will be a lot of long and hard working hours yet to put into this to get everything up and running. But once again, congratulations, my best wishes to this, and let's get going. This is a product of the spirit of Skellefteå, the spirit of Team Sweden, and I think that will be a win-win for all.
Thank you very much, Ebba. I'm very glad to be here today, even though it was an early morning. Västerås, where the R&D plant is located in, this R&D plant is one of the most important and modern R&D plants in Europe. Västerås has many international companies within the energy sector, so there is no coincidence that the R&D plant is situated in the energy capital of Europe. The R&D plant in Västerås is a powerful symbol of European ambition to lead the green energy shift. And we will, from the municipality of Västerås, we will wish you, Mr. Dan and Lyten, all the best for the future, and we look forward to collaborate with you and with Skellefteå. And we will say a very, very welcome to Västerås, Skellefteå and to Sweden. It's very important. Och jag vill avsluta med också då att bara tacka för alla som har jobbat så hårt under de här månaderna för att den här dagen ska bli verklighet. Så, tack.
Tack Amanda. Jag heter Jan Larsson, vd för Business Sweden. I would like to start by echoing all the thank yous, naturally. It's been a great way of collaborating, and first of all, I'm really grateful that we got this assignment from the government in the spring to support dialogue and support actually a movement forwards in order to increase the chances of getting an industrial player to invest in all the assets that are here. And I'm truly, truly happy today that we have reached that. Our part has been very small, but we hope that we have been at least part in finding this awesome solution. Secondly, I think this is a good day not only for Skellefteå, not only for Västerås, not only for the former employees and incoming employees, not only for this region, but it's actually a very, very positive day for the ecosystem of batteries that we have built the last 10 years or 5-10 years, that we have not only around Skellefteå but all Sweden and actually all of the Nordic countries collaborating in trying to build a global center for insights and knowledge. With Lyten, I think that we have not only gotten a fantastic player in the battery field to Sweden, but also gotten a very good bridgehead in collaborating with Silicon Valley, with California and the United States in developing the future of battery technology. And that naturally is important from economic perspectives, but it's equally important from the perspectives of the resilience and who's going to be in charge of building the future. So I'm really happy of having Lyten here today. Dan, thank you for being so thoughtful. When others saw problems in the past, you saw what we can learn from those mistakes. When others saw challenges in finding profitability in the old technology, you guys at Lyten saw the opportunities with the new technology. When others, in short, saw risks, you saw the opportunities. And I really hope that we can collaborate in the future between Business Sweden and Lyten in capturing all those opportunities together and build a very strong ecosystem. So welcome, and I'm very happy that you've joined Sweden. And as we all know, it is a bumpy road ahead. That is what it always is when you have new technology. But I'm really glad just to say that diamonds have never been able to be done without any pressure. And I think in the pressure that we've all experienced the last summer, you have shown that you are the creator of diamonds for the future. So thank you very much for being here.
Rickard Karstedt, regionråd ansvar för regionala utvecklingsfrågor i Västerbotten. Ja, det är en glädjens dag på många sätt skulle jag vilja säga. Inte bara för Skellefteå eller för hela region Västerbotten, Sverige, för EU skulle jag vilja säga, hela Europa. För att vi är ju faktiskt i ett läge där vi har pratat ett halvår nu om ett hack i kurvan och nu ser jag egentligen kanske botten på det där hacket. Och kan med glädje också glädjas åt att lägga ner krisorganisationen och återgå till att faktiskt jobba med det vi behöver jobba med. Kompetensförsörjningen, forskning, utveckling, stärka upp den och se till att snabba på infrastrukturprojekt. Så att det är verkligen en glädjens dag och jag ser verkligen fram emot efter en underbar sommar att verkligen få jobba de här alla timmarna som kommer att krävas hela hösten, nästa vår och framåt för att se till att det här verkligen blir en föregångare i omställning.
Yes, and last, Helene Hellmark Knutsson, County Governor of Västerbotten. And with all these things said already, I just also want to like to express my deep gratitude to everyone that have worked so hard to make this fabulous day possible. And of course, this is a great news and a great day for Skellefteå and for Västerbotten. And like Richard said, it's also for Sweden and for Europe. And like the minister said, it's also a good day for the transatlantic ties between us. So I think to connect to what the mayor, Lawrence Burman, said, we were all very worried in March when the bankruptcy of Northvolt was a fact. And we were worried not only what will happen with Skellefteå, but also what will happen with the green transition in Sweden and in Europe. But also with the competitiveness of European industry. But today we are very happy to welcome Lyten here as a new owner of the factory here in Skellefteå as well as Northvolt Labs in Västerås. And we look very much forward to collaborate and to support Lyten in their ambition to develop the next generation of batteries, but also of energy storage. So I think I just would like to mention that the focus we have had during this month has also been to do all things possible to retain the talent that Skellefteå and Northvolt attracted to this region and to Sweden. And I think that was the right focus when we are standing here today. And all the strength that once attracted Northvolt to Västerbotten and to Skellefteå are still here and are even stronger. Secure supply of green renewable energy, talent, great universities and research, and also strong industrial tradition and, of course, attractive living conditions. So I think together this next chapter will be a success, but it will be a hard work even still. Thank you.
Well, thank you everyone in the panel. And before we round up this press conference, I would like to hear if there's any questions from the media in the room. Please state what media you're working for.
Hi, Jenny Sheirag, Dagens Nyheter. I have a question for Lyten. Can you talk a little about the money? Do you have the money that it takes to restart the factory and run it? And Northvolt invested a lot of money into the factory and had troubles with the production of batteries. What makes you think that you will succeed where Northvolt failed? Thank you.
Sure. Am I on? Okay. So in answer to your question about the money, Lyten has recently, you've seen a recent press announcement from Bloomberg chronicling some of our recent fundraising. Lyten has always enjoyed an ability to raise capital. Lyten is privately held and it counts amongst its investor base major corporations like Federal Express, Stellantis, Honeywell, and what we've enjoyed over the years, in the 10 years that I've been the CEO of the company, is an incredible momentum towards raising money. We have our private investors, many of whom are billionaires, and a multitude of millionaires give us a very strategic weapon when it comes to raising capital. Many of our investors have invested 3 and 4 times over in alliance with our objectives. Going forward, what we're doing is we are expanding our investor base, and I'm pleased to say we have investors in Sweden. We have investment forthcoming from Poland, and we have investment coming from other parts of the world in significant amounts to tackle this challenge, which includes the startup as well as an investment in capital that is going to be necessary to complete the facilities. So that answers that question, I think. As far as, what is it that we're going to do that's different? And I've been asked this question many times over, and I think I appreciate the comments that Matthias and also that Mikael made. There was this very special time over the last year where, as an ex-automotive engineer from Detroit in my early years, I went into that factory and I was looking for very specific things. I had similar responsibilities in factories, and what I saw was remarkable. There was a great set of facilities, but there was also a great set of people, and the people that are there today and who have finished off this last year are amongst some of the most dedicated, hardworking people that I've run into in the industry. They have solved, unbeknownst to many, a lot of the problems that got Northvolt into this situation. Focus, execution, determination, until it has brought yields into the 90s, which perhaps in early days was not something that was covered well because they were much, much lower, the yields. They haven't solved all of the problems, to be sure, but they've solved a lot of the big ones, enough to give us confidence, Lyten and our board and our investors confidence that this is a good investment to make. And at a personal level, I already know that we're going to be successful here because the pieces are there. So will we make mistakes? Heck yeah, we'll make mistakes. Lyten brought a new technology into Silicon Valley that was brought about because of a small group of guys and gals who believed that we could create something. We've taken 3D graphene to a place where now it has a chance to change big parts of the world in lithium sulfur energy storage. And so will we have those challenges in scaling lithium sulfur? Sure. But we got to build it on a good foundation. And I think we have one in all the assets, all the time, the effort, the community, and it's really ours to lose. So I look forward to being able to report out in time as we attract our first customer, which we're working on already, and multiple customers to follow, to let you guys see the other side of this, and we will get to a place of as has been mentioned by many, of hope and of success and victory out there, because this facility and the facility in Västerås deserve exactly that.
We have one more here.
Yes, hello. A question for Dan Cook. My name is Birgitta Forsberg. I'm from Svenska Dagbladet. And in the press release, you say that you are buying 16 gigawatt hours in operative production capacity. But Northvolt's goal in Skellefteå was 1 gigawatt hour 2024, but they only reached about 20%. So what are you buying?
Well, as I mentioned, we're buying, first off, I will say this, that capacity actually, those reports belie what is actually in existence today. In fact, there's one line there that has already been qualified for a leading customer. And there's an unknown fact that About 4 more are near qualification. So we're buying a lot more than 1 gigawatt. We're buying really the know-how amongst the people to get that facility to its full capacity. And we'll do it. We will do it 1 gigawatt at a time, maybe 1.8 gigawatts at a time, to be exact. And in that, I think it's important from your question to really emphasize the fact that really focus on step-by-step achievement of incremental volumes is really what our strategy is about. We recognize in the past that there were those times where, yes, there was a lot of capacity and exists a lot of capacity in situ, in place, that wasn't functioning as it should. From my own experience in starting up and creating millions of this and millions of that for the automotive industry in my former life, focus was everything. Scaling factories is not for the faint of heart, but it can be done. And they have done it. I just wish you all could know more about that, but we'll report on it.
Well, you say that scaling can be done, but that was the problem with Northvolt. They couldn't scale.
Sure. So how do we make it different? Well, there's a lot that goes into that. And scaling has everything to do with equipment, its reliability, the people that operate it, and also the collaboration with the customer. These are all things that I think in the last 12 months or so of the facility that many of these have been tackled. And these are also, you must be an engineer as well, because they're my concerns. And these are things that I looked at very carefully in my own and our team's evaluation of this. And we've brought to bear some of our own experts besides yours truly, who have operated gigafactories at extremely large scale, one standing in the back wall, who actually brought the Tesla gigafactory outside Reno to life. So we bring some expertise that also recognizes good talent and good equipment and good facilities when we see it. So the ingredients are here to make this work. And as I pointed out, I already know how to make this work ahead of time, or I wouldn't have, led our company and our investors in this direction. And we're looking forward to that. Go ahead. She's got one more.
Yes, last question. Yes, but are you bringing your own leadership team in to do this, or are you cooperating with a partner like CATL or someone who really can make batteries?
Okay, so let me tackle that one. First off, I just want you to know that you have a very talented group of employees sitting right here and sitting in Västerås. As was spoken about earlier, these are amongst some of the best talent that I've seen and other members of our team have seen. I may hurt some people's feeling in this room, and I'm sorry for that, but CATL will not be part of this factory, and CATL will not be part of Västerås. There is no reason with lithium sulfur and the existing technologies to rely any more than we have to on these foreign partners. And this is what the future is about. We need energy independence, all of us. We have an opportunity. And I think we owe it to ourselves and the communities and the investments that have already been made to make that real.
So thank you everyone again for this press conference, and I think we will conclude it here because I think the media in the room are now eager to do individual interviews.